you like finishing this one?
I'm going to go for it. You know, I would love, obviously, that'd be the best case scenario, get the finish. I can see it happening, you know, I can see it blowing the roof off, MSG, taking out pound for pound one, number one with no doubts, you know. Finish would be the dream.
Do you believe he might be able to stop Islam going up to this weight class? JDM stop him now. I mean, JDM's boxing and pressure that he can do, incredible. So I definitely can get a finish. All right, favorite team? Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare.
He's the best lightweight on the planet, and I want to KO him. That's the headline energy Jack Hot Sauce Della Maddalena unleashed when he turned his sights to Islam Makhachev. And it isn't idle bravado. This is a challenge that drips with intent. Not to outpoint, not to survive, but to finish. Jack didn't say he wants to beat Makhachev. He said he wants to knock him out. That single sentence rewires the narrative around a potential matchup and forces everyone to reevaluate what
to try and strike with you, or do you think that his game plan might try and take you down?
It's hard to expect anything, you know. I definitely feel like he will test the feet, you know. I think it's going to start on the feet, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Bilal fight, he probably sees that Bilal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll be getting to some at least some grappling exchanges, you know.
He's going to come up in weight, your weight class. Do you feel like that's going to slow him down a little bit?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes the weight cut will slow you down. So I expect the best of Islam. I expect more build out, stronger. I feel like
both men represent in the modern lightweight scene. Start with the men themselves. Islam Makhachev is the gold standard lightweight, a Sambo monster bred from the Dagestani pipeline, a relentless grappler with a compact, efficient striking game built to close distance, clinch, and end fights where he wants. His resume reads like a checklist for domination: elite wrestling, suffocating top control, and the sort of fight IQ that turns chaos into
done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down. So, and also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible. It's gonna be hard, but Islam can.
Calculation. He's not flashy for flash's sake. He methodically eliminates opponents and leaves no room for comeback. For many, Makhachev is the immovable object in the lightweight division. Jack Della Maddalena is a different kind of problem. A younger, hungrier striker from Australia, Jack's stock rose quickly because of one thing: power. He hits like a truck, carries finishes in both hands, and mixes timing with combinations that make opponents.
But people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you gotta respect that, but. Don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough...
Think twice. He's also a confident talker, the kind of fighter who doesn't hide his intent behind media politeness. When Jack says he wants to knock someone out, he has the track record to back up that language. His rise has been fueled by a string of stoppages and an aggressive fight style that invites fireworks. So why does this challenge matter? Because it's a classic matchup in archetypes: elite grappler versus knockout striker. Fans love it because outcomes are dramatic and binary. Either the grappler drags the contest into deep water and suffocates it.
Once, like, not really hard, crazy, but, and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's good.
Even watching him with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns, His scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm not standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
Dense,
think,
man, just dense.
dense, yeah. Like,
Or the striker lands one definitive shot and the stadium goes ballistic. But beneath the surface-level drama, there are layers that make this a legitimate, intriguing career-defining moment for both men. For Jack, this is a chance to break into the elite conversation by doing what few have done. Walk into Makhachev's world and come out with a highlight reel finish. That's not just ego, it's strategic. The lightweight throne is crowded and fickle.
You get people that are worried about the takedown, so like, and then they don't fight their fight on the feet. I'm gonna fight my fight and worry about the takedown when it's there.
Exactly.
And that's perfect. You need to be like that. For me, like with Islam, was like, I'm gonna do my thing. Yeah, I'll be worried about it, but at the same time, find the shots to go in, boom, boom, boom. But I'll worry about the takedown when they're
later
there. But
on,
I'll still
once
commit
you
to
realize
things.
you can handle it, then you were just like, fuck this shit, I can handle it.
And the confidence Jack Della is going to have now from getting through that, even though he's going to be confident. And then there's another one when you're successful with guys that are very dominant there. When you have this.
Beating Makhachev and doing it by knockout would instantly vault Jack into the upper echelon of title contention, reshape matchmaking fantasies, and reframe his identity from dangerous prospect to legitimate title threat. He knows the stakes. He's not promising to outclass Islam over 5 rounds. He's promising to change the entire arc of both careers with one night. For Makhachev, the challenge is a litmus test in the opposite direction. He's built his legacy on control and dominance. Taking a punch and finishing a fight via strategic groundwork is what he does. But Jack's threat forces Islam to prove his chin.
Saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he should not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. He's proving himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're gonna have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot.
His striking defense, and his ability to weather a violent start. A loss by knockout would be more than a blemish. It would be a narrative crack that opponents would circle like vultures. Conversely, dispatching a knockout-hungry striker like Jack would only cement Makhachev's status as the complete package. A man who can neutralize both threats on the mat and threats that land before the takedown. Tactically, the matchup is rich. Jack's pathway to a knockout runs through distance management.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, okay? But Jack's bigger. Jack's a little, he's a little bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu, which means it won't be free. The takedowns won't be free. Being on top of him won't be free. Not to mention, Jack has really good hands, and if he can keep it into that mid-range, into that distance that he likes, make it awkward. He's very good at not only punching straight lines, but punching up. So his hooks, his uppercuts, he mixes it really well. He works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. You know, I think there's enough angles there to
explosive angles, and preventing takedowns. He must strike like a coiled spring, explosive, unpredictable, and above all, disciplined enough to disengage before Islam's range-closing wrestling game becomes the problem. It's a delicate ballet. Press the pace wit, Hout becoming a walking takedown target. Clinch work could be decisive. If Jack can keep the fight on his feet and reset on the fence, his chances grow exponentially. Islam's counter is textbook.
170, got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive. Made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high-level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Who give?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilya versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even.
This is a challenge that drips with intent. Not to outpoint, not to survive, but to finish. Jack didn't say he wants to beat Makhachev. He said he wants to knock him out. That single sentence rewires the narrative around a potential matchup and forces everyone to reevaluate what both men represent in the modern lightweight scene. Start with the men themselves. Islam Makhachev is the gold standard lightweight.
Entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Maddalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te ele vem te magoando, né? Aos poucos, né? Aos poucos. É o que ele fez agora no contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Isla vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o...
A Sambo monster bred from the Dagestani pipeline. A relentless grappler with a compact, efficient striking game built to close distance, clinch, and end fights where he wants. His resume reads like a checklist for domination. Elite wrestling, suffocating top control, and the sort of fight IQ that turns chaos into calculation. He's not flashy for flash's sake. He methodically eliminates opponents and leaves no room for comeback. For many, Makhachev is the immovable object in the lightweight division. Jack Della Maddalena is a different kind of problem. A younger, hungrier striker from Australia, Jack's stock rose quickly because of one thing: power.